This is KVUE News Daybreak.
After heavy rain yesterday, the skies cleared out fairly quickly, but we could be in for another round of rain today. And a Lyft driver in custody after pulling a gun on a pedicab driver. What the company is saying this morning. Plus, the Senate's plan to repeal and replace Obamacare is apparently in trouble. The problems GOP leaders are now facing. Good morning. Thank you for watching KVUE News Weekend Daybreak. I'm Corey Coffin in for Jenny Lee this morning. It is 7 o'clock on your Sunday. Let's begin this morning with this check of your storm team forecast with Vanessa Abuchaibe. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning, Corey. We're taking a look at the current conditions. I'm loving this morning. Feels a lot cooler than what we've been feeling the last few days. 75 in ABIA, Camp Mabry, 75. The winds are pretty calm coming in from the north at 5 miles per hour. But we do have a little bit of active weather to our east here coming into Travis County. Also in Bastrop County, we see a couple of rain showers and scattered thunderstorms in the area. We're going to continue to check those out throughout the day. And for right now, we're waking up into the 70s. 68 in Harper. How nice is that? 71 also by Johnson City, Marble Falls, 70 degrees, 71 in Round Rock, and Austin, 75 degrees. Dipping Springs, it's 69 degrees and 70s here for the rest of the region. It's definitely a nice, cool morning. And as you can see, we still have rain here in the forecast. So if you have any plans for today, maybe an umbrella, it's not a bad idea to go out ahead and carry that with you. 81 degrees by 1 p.m., 83 by 5, and 81 will keep dropping after 5 p.m. Now, those rain chances will hold off here, not only for today, but also for the rest of your coming days. So we're going to take a look at that forecast coming up. Thanks, Corey.
Vanessa, we love it. Those temperatures, aside from the rain, positively lovely compared to what we've had so far. Thanks, Vanessa. Now to a heartbreaking tragedy out of Houston. A baby boy was killed this weekend after he was left in the back seat of a hot car by his father. We've learned the baby's name, Justin Hoon. According to detectives, his 36-year-old father had his 3 kids in his car Friday morning. He took 2 of them to daycare and arrived at work at a Northwest Houston warehouse. Police tell us the 7-month-old normally gets dropped off separately to a babysitter, but apparently his father forgot. Investigators say when his wife called asking where the baby was, the father went to the car at 7:30 at night and found him unresponsive in his car seat.
The majority of folks are not going to purposely leave their kids in the car. They do that on accident, which shows negligence.
Now, the case is under investigation by the Houston Police Department. Paramedics pronounced the 7-month-old dead at the scene. Police say the case will now likely be referred to a Harris County grand jury. And a mother near Dallas is facing charges this morning for leaving her 2 kids in a hot car last month. 2 toddlers died after being locked in a hot car for several hours to, quote, teach them a lesson, after her 2-year-old refused to get out of the car. Cynthia Randolph says that she closed the door on her kids thinking that they could get out by themselves. Investigators say Randolph then went inside her home and fell asleep for several hours. The 16-month-old boy and her 2-year-old daughter were found dead. Randolph is now facing first-degree felony counts of injury to a child, causing serious bodily injury. All new this morning, about 150 people were killed this morning in Pakistan after an oil tanker burst into flames. Officials say that tanker flipped over on a highway southwest of Multan. After the crash, hundreds of people from a nearby village rushed forward to collect the leaking fuel. Local officials believe that a spark from all of the cars ignited that fuel, causing the tanker to burst into flames. 148 people killed in that blaze, and dozens of others are now in critical condition. And now to the battle over repeal and replace. As Republican opposition to the GOP Senate health care bill grows, so too do the protests against it. This was the scene in Fort Worth yesterday outside the Tarrant County Courthouse. Organizers there and at town halls across the country concerned the GOP bill could leave millions uninsured. At least 5 Republican senators are now saying they're not on board, but for different reasons. And at a rally in Pittsburgh, Senator Bernie Sanders urged those lawmakers to vote no.
Everyone knows that the Affordable Care Act is far from perfect. Our job now is to improve it, not destroy it.
President Trump, meantime, urging its passage, tweeting yesterday with another attack on Democrats and Obamacare's high costs. A vote could come as early as next week. Well, a Lyft driver in custody this morning after police say he pulled a gun on a pedicab driver and threatened to kill her early yesterday. That's according to our partners at the Austin American-Statesman. Austin police arrested 58-year-old Lyft driver Robert Rush on suspicion of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the affidavit, it all started after Rush nearly hit a pedicab cyclist, Brandy Tribble, on Rainey Street. Tribble began yelling at Rush and kicked his car. Rush rolled down the window and pointed a black handgun toward Tribble's head, saying, quote, "I will kill you." That's according to officers. Nearby officers arrested Rush and found a realistic-looking BB gun. Lyft did release a statement saying, quote, "This type of behavior is completely unacceptable," and the company says they have a strict no weapons policy. A Uvalde County grand jury will meet Monday to decide what, if any, charges will be filed for a crash that killed 13 people earlier this year. 20-year-old Jack Dylan Young was seen on this video swerving and running off the road just before that crash in March. He hit a church bus from New Braunfels head on. The DA met with the families of the victims and their attorneys on Friday.
Sounds like the district attorney has a really good plan to make sure that these families can get some closure. Through the civil litigation, we're hoping to bring some of the facts of distracted driving, driving under the influence, to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again.
Now, Young does say that he was texting while he was driving and had taken prescription drugs. Investigators found those pills and marijuana in his truck. Tomorrow, the Austin ISD Board will hold a special meeting where they'll discuss the district's bond proposal. We hope to finally learn more about that proposed bond that will go before voters in November if the district chooses to vote on it. The district wants to stay below the $1 billion mark. Otherwise, they'll have to raise taxes. Some projects include a potential new middle school in Northeast Austin, along with 2 other schools. The district is welcoming the public comment on proposed projects. The meeting is Monday at the Carruth Administration Center. Fireworks are officially on the shelves this weekend for shoppers, and many already throwing down hundreds on the explosives. Nationwide, shoppers dished out about $755 million in fireworks in 2016. This weekend alone, many spend thousands on the first day. One shopper at the American Fireworks Warehouse in Del Valle says she's excited for this year. Soli is from Arizona, a state that bans consumer fireworks because of the extreme dry heat there. She says although she doesn't know much about the explosives, she understands safety is important, something she learned as a child playing with sparklers.
Part of it fell off and fell into the back of my shirt, and so I ended up burning part of my back.
Now, it is a common problem. In fact, most fireworks injuries happen between the end of June and early July. 2 years ago, Austin firefighters were called to an apartment fire after 3 boys set off fireworks in their bedroom. 2 suffered burns. An Austin fire chief says that kids should never be allowed near them and that adults should soak the fireworks when they're finished using them. If a person is caught using fireworks within city limits, fines of more than $500 rather can be issued. Happening this morning, a walk to end pancreatic cancer. Purple Stride Austin is one of 55 events across the country that raises funds for research. This year, it's taking place at Camp Mabry. KVUE's Rebecca Trejo joins us there live this morning with why so much funding is needed. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Corey. Pancreatic cancer is one of the toughest cancers to fight. It has a 5-year survival rate of just 9%. Fund raised today will help to advance research and to support patients. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, who's organizing the event, says pancreatic cancer recently moved from the 4th to the 3rd leading cause of cancer-related death in the country. It's anticipated to become the 2nd around 2020. Pancreatic cancer is the 9th most commonly diagnosed cancer in women, the 11th in men. Now, among the research that's being explored includes early detection recognition using registries of patients with a family history of pancreatic cancer, developing drugs that target specific gene mutations, and harnessing a person's immune system for cancer treatment. Now, the 5K run and walk starts at 8:30 this morning. Some of those participating will be pancreatic cancer survivors themselves. Live at Camp Mabry, Rebecca Trejo, KVUE News, Daybreak.
It's sure to be an exciting morning. Thank you, Rebecca. A new exhibit at the LBJ Presidential Library is honoring 50 years of public broadcasting. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Public Broadcasting Act into law November 7th, 1967. The act created the Corporation for Public Broadcasting as well as PBS and NPR, transforming our national media landscape.
I think LBJ said it best in that we work every day to produce new goods and create new wealth. But most of all, we want to enrich man's spirit, and that was the purpose of the Public Broadcasting Act.
Well, curators chose the most iconic shows from PBS to highlight, which include Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. For the opening yesterday, kids were treated to a special guest appearance by Elmo, as well as Cookie Monster cookies on their way out. The exhibit runs through November 12th and will feature a special Storytime series each Tuesday in July.